Hello, Tom Buck, owner and managing director of the Calder Group here. Welcome to our latest information video. Today we're going to talk about discretionary will trusts and why. Okay, let's start with the positive. If you've got a will with a discretionary will trust instruction in it, congratulations, at least you've got a will. We still find that around about 2/3 of the population, depending who you believe, doesn't have the very basic will in place. What, though, is a discretionary will trust? Well, basically it's a will with an instruction to create a trust when you die. So please, 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 please do not think that you have a trust. You have an instruction to create one. Why were they created? Well, before 2007, you couldn't claim or didn't automatically get each other's £325,000 allowance, which meant for the last 20 years or so, solicitors, will writers, they went crazy on creating these will trusts. And yes, because of legal advice, I did them. I've spent time changing that. What then is the purpose of them? Well, actually now, nothing. From October 2007, you don't need it. Also, something you need to be aware of, if you did this before October 2004, well, there's a possibility of stamp duty, particularly if you use half the house to put into that trust. Now, again, I'll be quite open and honest, I haven't come across any occasions where that's been done, but we're still in austerity. We have Brexit coming around the corner in March 2019, and at the time of this video, well, we've just had a large funding promise by a Tory government for the NHS. Tory government who are going to fund it by tax increases. Doesn't quite make sense, does it? But it's there. So while it's not been used previously, who knows? Let's play safe. What's the other risk behind a discretionary will trust? Well, first of all, it's an instruction to create a trust when you die. Now, I'll be honest, they're relatively cheap, a few £100s to create those wills. However, to create a trust, a few £1,000s. Now, if you live for 20 or 30 years, I think this thing called inflation may have an impact. That could be a real surprise for your family. So, not the best idea. The other risk of that, of course, is politicians. Yeah, I know, permanent problem. Not a lot we can do, but they could change legislation. There's nothing to stop the Chancellor at some point, and we're going through a review on inheritance tax at the moment, from making changes. So quite frankly, discretionary will trusts, I just don't see the point. Other than storing up lots of money for solicitors and legal people at some future date. So, how do you go about changing it? Well, it's quite simple. You create the trust now and you rewrite to a basic will. What are the benefits of that? Well, first of all, you've got a trust. We can register it with HMRC so they're aware you have a trust. So if things change 5 years down the line, you don't have a useless bit of paper that doesn't do anything or breaks the law, if you get what I'm saying. By having that trust now, it's secure. Your will becomes a very, very simple document because it points things to that trust. Certain clauses we need to put in around the main residence allowance, and again, I'll talk about that on a separate video, but easily done, easily sorted. You can also use that trust now to make gifts while you're alive. If you want to give your son, daughter, grandchildren, I don't know, £20,000, £50,000 to help them buy the first house, get through university, you can use that lifetime settlement now to do it and protect it so that that gift is protected for them future down the line. Really, really powerful. So, do I believe discretionary will trusts are a good thing? No. And there are some top tax barristers who are fully in agreement, or am I fully in agreement with that? Anyway, no, not worth doing. If you've got one, particularly before 2004, you need to look seriously at how your will's written and consider setting that trust up now. Sets the cost now, sets the legislation now, and gives you plenty more options for passing your estate on to the future generations. So if you'd like to know more and it's the work that we do, so we're the people to come to. We offer a free consultation. We can look at what you've done, if you've done anything. If you haven't, don't panic. We can make sure that we set you off on the right track. We know where you want to get to, and we can create a plan that takes you there, hopefully very quickly, but if we need to do it over a few years, we'll tell you. The contact details for that consultation are coming up on the screen now. We'd love to hear from you. Also, if you go to our website, you can log in and download a guide, 7 Steps to Inheritance Tax, and we also have a guide to the use of trusts and how they work with some various examples that you can take a look at and review. We also send out a profiler before that first meeting. The reason is we want to make sure that when you're sat with us, we're using it to talk to you about your objectives and what you're trying to achieve and your concerns, not asking you how much your house is worth and what investment values you have. Let's do that before. Let's use your time sensibly. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to put a thumbs up and like, because that spreads the message further and further, and we want to make sure everyone in the UK is passing on their assets, protecting it and providing for the future while providing for themselves. But for the moment, thanks very much for watching. Look forward to seeing you on the next video.